Hello, welcome to our show. Our guest today is Vonnie Reis, who's the town engineer of Milford. How are you, Vonnie?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's our pleasure. How long have you been the town engineer?
I have been in this position for about a year and a half.
Are you having fun?
I am. Milford's a great town.
I think right after Vonnie got there, we threw the casino at her.
Yes, that was one of my first tasks, was to work with the casino negotiations.
Oh, wow. So you had fun with that, I'm sure.
It was different, something I've never done before, that's for sure.
They changed the rules, what, about every 2 weeks?
Well, that's a year ago. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. So what kind of things do you do as a town engineer on a weekly basis?
I am involved in all the building projects that are going on in town. Since I've been here, we've replaced 3 roofs. We're just about to start the youth center project, which is pretty exciting. I'm also involved in stormwater management and the stormwater permitting, which is a big thing for Milford. And the Milford Pond project, of course, is coming up.
And that's what we wanted to talk to you about. Now, this has been going on or planning or looked at for about 21 years. Is that right?
I've heard between 20 and 30. The committee has been working on this for a very long time.
But the good news is the Army Corps of Engineers has awarded a contract, correct?
They awarded a contract to a contractor named Palmer Federal on September 29th.
And work may actually begin this year?
Work may begin this fall, before winter, yes.
Wow.
Okay. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the project, can you explain in broad terms
What it is?
what it is? I mean,
Absolutely.
part of the pond's
Absolutely.
being dredged, you're taking the fill, and why don't you explain it?
So Milford Pond, as most people know, was originally a cedar swamp, and when they built the dam, then it became a pond. And for many years, it was deep enough for people to boat and swim and fish in. And over the years, because of decomposing vegetation and silt running in from the shoreline, the pond has built up. And in most places in the pond now, the elevation, the depth to the water is about 2 to 3 feet. Wow. It's very shallow, which increases the problems with the aquatic vegetation, the nuisance vegetation. So it has a snowball effect.
Right, when most people go by, they just see weeds.
Correct, yeah. And so we are, with the Army Corps, we'll be going in and dredging about 19 acres of the pond down to a depth of 12 feet. So we will be restoring that deep water habitat for fishing and boating. And hopefully it will also help to control some of those invasives, because they tend to grow in the shallow areas. They won't be able to grow in the deep water.
Okay, and where's all that dredge stuff going? Out of town?
Well, that's actually kind of the exciting part about this project, because it's very unique. Most of the time when they do a dredging project, it is taken to a staging area and dried out and then shipped off site somewhere. In this case, we're actually going to build impoundments with core logs, which are about this thick, and they're made of straw, and they're filled with a biodegradable material. And those areas will be filled with the dredged material. So they're using a hydraulic dredge, and then they'll use a pump similar to a concrete pump or another type of slurry pump. And they will pump the dredged material from the dredged area, which is located on the southern portion of the pond, up to the northern portion of the pond where the reclamation areas will be.
Okay, so just for people who aren't directionally oriented, you're talking basically where Rosenfeld Little League Field is and the Plains Park and where the boat ramp was put in a couple of years ago. That's the dredged area behind that?
The dredged area will start about where Plains Park is
Okay.
and will extend down towards the dam. And then
Okay.
the reclamation area will be on the upper portion of the lake
Near Dilla Street.
near Dilla Street, exactly.
And am I correct in saying there'll be like little mounds sticking out of the surface when this is done? I don't want to call them islands.
Yes, they're not, they have been
What was
called
the analogy you
islands.
told Selectmen recently? It's not where somebody can get off the boat and go picnic, but it's,
Exactly.
they're
So
land masses.
yes. So what they'll do is they'll provide an additional habitat for turtles and birds, and also we are going to try to replant some white cedar and restore that
Because
that historical aspect of
the
the
original
pond.
name of the area was Cedar Swamp Pond.
That's right,
and
and
Cedar
it was
Street.
famous for its cedar trees.
Right, hence Cedar Street, Milford, so.
That's correct.
And that area is more the stretch running behind Dilla Street, where you're building the fill, correct?
Yes, the filled area. So I like to call it the reclaimed wetland area or
Okay.
reclamation area. We'll be creating wetland areas. So the depth, there'll be part of it where the depth to the of the water will be about 1 foot to 2 feet like it is now. And then we'll have these mounded areas where we'll be able to establish vegetation. We have worked with the residents of Dilla Street so that we can leave some areas of access open so that they can still get to the deeper water in the pond. And then, of course, the Charles River comes in just south of the water company into
Right.
Milford Pond, so we are not filling anything in that area. We don't want to impede the flow of the Charles River.
And how long is this going to take?
It should take about a year to a year and a half. The Army Corps has specified that the contractor has to produce a certain rate per month of dredged material. We had a meeting just last Friday at the Corps, and they were saying that their initial conversations with the contractor indicated that they might bring in 2 or more dredging rigs.
So it could go faster.
And get it done very quickly. Typically, these larger dredging projects go on during the summer months and in the winter months. This one will go through the summer, so it actually gives these guys work during what's normally a down period for them. If they're doing ocean work, they get shut down during the summer for obvious reasons.
Right. So I think one of the questions I've heard around town is when these reclamation areas are built, are people going to smell the peat, the reclaimed area? I don't know what you call it. It's not soil.
It-
Wet fill?
It will be wet fill. It'll be muck
Right.
when they deposit it, and over time it will self-compact.
Right.
And the reason we're using the core logs is it'll allow the water content that's in that soil to seep back out into the pond without taking all the sediment with it.
Right.
So there may be some odors while they're doing the work, but once it settles and it dries, it should be fine.
Okay. And are there plans for the pond after that? I mean, we already have one boat ramp that was put in a year ago next to Rosenfeld Park. Are there plans for another boat ramp or anything like that?
There are plans for 2 other access points to the pond. There'll be public access points. They will not be paved like the boat ramp that is next to the Little League field. There will be one access point off of Clark's Island, so somebody with a canoe or a kayak can walk in with their boat and put the boat in the water. And then we're hoping to put another access point down by the pool area as well. But again, that one won't be paved either. So the only boat area that will be accessible by vehicles will be the one that we have now.
Is there any plans to stock it with fish after it's done, the project's completed?
We probably will. The Conservation Commission already stocks Louisa Lake on an annual basis, so chances are we will add to that program and stock Milford Pond.
Okay. And a key part of this also is once the pond is boat accessible is at the October 20th special town meeting. There's an article that would prohibit power boats on the lake or everything but electric trolling motors.
Everything except electric trolling motors, and limit the type of watercraft to smaller watercraft also. The reasoning behind that is Milford Pond is also home to 4 species of endangered birds, and they come to Milford Pond to nest, and the noise that motorboats and jet skis and those types of recreational vehicles would make would disturb the birds so that they may not come back, or it might disrupt their breeding season. In fact, we actually have to stage our construction around the schedule of the birds' breeding season.
Really?
Yes, the contractor has to either start work before April 1st and work continuously, so when the birds come, there's noise. If they don't like it, they'll go somewhere else. If they can deal with it, then they'll stay, but they won't be surprised. Or he has to wait until after the breeding season is over, if he doesn't start by that date, to allow the birds time to nest and do what they do. And then so I think it's after June 30th they could start if they miss that window.
Wow. I didn't realize that there were endangered species there.
Yeah,
Well,
four different types of birds.
Do you know the names of the birds?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the king bittern is one of
okay.
them. I'm not an ornithologist, so.
Oh, no, I say just an ornithologist.
No, there are people who, of course, would scoff at that and, say, who cares, but
No,
it is
that's
nature.
Yeah, well, it just shows that even with the present state of the pond, it's a diverse
absolutely.
habitat already, and we're hoping to improve that with this project.
That's
Well,
good.
I remember about a year ago you showed, I don't know who put it together, but someone, I think it was you, showed the selectmen pictures of people in like the 20s or 30s or 40s frolicking on the lake in different activities. And
Frolicking, I like that.
Yes, yeah.
well, it was the Sunday finery and little umbrellas shielding the ladies and top hats on the men, and
Ooh.
the way people
Used to.
in the 20s or
Promenade,
30s would dress. Today they'll go out in jeans and a t-shirt.
That's true. That's
But-
true.
Yeah, the lake at one point was a destination for people in Milford, and hopefully it will be again.
This area used to be that, and the surrounding towns were, recreation areas where people would go to the lake for the week or whatever. It was, it was kind of interesting. Times have changed. There used to be a trolley that ran to Upton from Milford, trolley system, and Milford was.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, and Milford was
ran to Upton, and then it ran to Lake Nipmuc and Mendon
right.
from downtown Milford.
And Milford was where everybody shopped from those communities. They would take the trolley in to shop. So those pictures are, those times were really very interesting, very interesting. There's a lot of history around this area.
Okay. And this is primarily an Army Corps of Engineers product with most of the money coming from the federal government.
75% of the project cost is being paid for by the Army Corps.
Wow.
But the town is contributing almost $2 million.
And the state put in
And
250.
We were very lucky. We got a grant from the state, from the Department of Environmental Protection, with the help of John Fernandez and Senator Moore, for $250,000 that has put us in a very comfortable position. So if
Because the bids came in higher than the money.
the bids came in a little bit higher, and you never know, during construction what you're going to run into.
Surprise, surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're liable to pump out some and then run across that odd 40 Ford that's buried out there or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised what you find in that lake.
Or
Was
no-
there any concern about pollution from the industries that used to be on Sumner Street being
There-
dredged up?
Our consultants did some work, and there is not. The short answer is there is not. But all of those waste sites were cleaned up under the current standards. So we don't think that we're going to find anything. In addition, they did several They did multiple rounds of soil cores, and they tested that material.
Tested the material?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. That's very good. So you don't have any brownfield issues or anything like that to deal with?
No, we're not expecting anything like that.
That's good.
So other than the pond, what's the largest thing on your plate these days?
The youth center is the other largest project, and
Construction is due to start October.
we're having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow with all
okay.
of with the general contractor and all of the subcontractors. There were 13 filed sub bids for this job, so
Right.
it's pretty big. And the notice to proceed, it will be dated October 13th, so that's the official start date of the
Oh, wow.
project.
And how long is it going to take?
That will take less than a year. We're hoping to
Wow.
have the youth center back up in the building and running after next summer,
Great.
sometime late summer. So they're ready to start. Some of the subs have already been out to do their initial measuring and assessment and work
That's
that they
great.
need to do to get ready.
That's great. Believe it or not, Vonnie, we're out of time already.
Okay.
Can we get you back sometime in 2015 to talk about how the pond and the youth center are going?
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right, thank
that
you
would be
very
great.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, and welcome back. Our guests are Jacque Gorman and Shelley Sgammato from the Milford Town Library, but you're not here to talk about the library per se, are you, ladies?
No, we're here to talk about our young adult community project that we do every year.
And what is that?
It's a Military Day project. We have a project that we started back in 2003.
Yes.
And what we do is, actually how we first started was, it was a yellow ribbon project. We had people put out yellow ribbons welcoming troops back to Milford, and we started sending packages to the troops that were still overseas. Now we just do the packages, which we start on September 11th, and we end on Veterans Day.
Okay. And are you asking for donations of money, of goods?
Yes, for money, for goods, supplies for the troops. We also do, since it's a holiday drive, so it's a community service that we do with the kids at the library. So since it's during the holiday time, we also send cards and letters to the troops.
What's the volume of things you sent, like, say, last year? Are we talking 1 box, 10 boxes?
We're talking several boxes. I think last year, we always get confused with the years, but I think last year we did about 32 boxes.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. Actually, if you even look on the, if you turn the box, our donation box.
Oh, I see the picture on the side. Yeah, we have the front.
That's our collection day when we actually box up all the boxes. And those were volunteers who came in and helped out on the Boxing Day.
Maybe the
Last year
can
was
see
just
that.
phenomenal of the support that we got from our students and from people within the community.
Okay. What types of things are you looking for?
Pretty much anything. Anything that you can think that somebody away from home might be missing. Food is a big item. They really like food, chips, candy, and at this time of year we can send chocolate too. There's
won't
certain
melt?
times, yeah,
Right.
it won't
Well,
melt.
that is a question. Where are the goods going to? Are they going to Afghanistan?
They pretty much go all over. And this is a tough year because in the past, we start our project on 9/11, and the kickoff is the Thanks to Yanks dinner. We go and we
Right.
help out at Thanks to Yanks dinner. In this year, because the Thanks to Yanks dinner was done a little differently, we couldn't really put up a container which we collect money for the packages. So we're already a couple $100 behind because we usually do really well at the Thanks to Yanks dinner. We give out ribbons, we help to seat, and our volunteers just love it. The kids just have a great time doing it. So this year, Mike Shane had a new setup, which was absolutely wonderful. I got to go this year to the Thanks to Yanks dinner.
I
and it was-
believe Al was the speaker,
Yes.
or a speaker.
Yeah,
I was
one of the speakers.
Right.
And he was wonderful, and it was just, it was a beautiful, this was the best I thought they've ever done. And, but the money container, the monetary container, is a container that we have in the library. We look for donations, money donations, so
If
we
I
can
walk in
send the
tomorrow, where
packages.
can I find the donation jar?
Right across from the circulation desk.
Okay.
So the circulation staff, you know, keep an eye on it so no one tries to take off with it, because
Someone did a couple of
unfortunately,
years ago.
someone tried to a couple of years ago and was caught.
It is
But-
now bolted down.
Yeah.
And they have to take a big wooden pedestal with it, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it
the
is
money
one-
in there is primarily for postage, or?
Yes.
Okay,
It is.
and then
It's
you're
for
looking
postage.
for donations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the postage, and the thing is, we try to send the packages to people in our community, so we know who is getting the packages. And we don't just send one, we send several to each person that we get
But-
names
so
from.
how do you find out who to send them to? Did you go to the veterans agent? Do you have parents come in and say, my son or daughter is overseas?
The last few years, it has been relatives
Yeah.
of families who have come in. Last year, so what we'll do is we'll put out our newsletter and our marketing for this, and we usually do have a name to send, and that's how we've done it. And
Okay.
I think last year we had 2 or 3.
Yeah, I want to say it was about 3 people we got.
Yeah, because the show's airing about a month before your deadline, so
Mm-hmm.
we're giving you the opportunity to reach out to people and say, so if somebody has a family member, a son or daughter, or a husband or wife in the service, they could come to you guys and give you the name and military address.
Yes.
And they don't have to, you know, they don't have to come directly to us. If they want, they can just call us, and we'll take the information down if they're unable to get to us. We like to send them out to, you know, Milford community and other community members close by. But it's nice because in the past, we've had a couple of these community members come back home. And the last one, Julianne Sharp, actually, she did this wonderful thing where her unit, while they were out in Iraq, hung a flag. And at the end of the day, when the flag came down, they packaged it up and they sent it to the kids. So it was really wonderful, and it hangs in the young adult area. They also brought in a plaque to give to the kids in thanks to what they done. And it is nice when we send over the packages. Usually, every person we send over a package to, they could get 6 to 8 packages, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. We never know how many per person they're going to get, but they share it with their whole unit. You know, that's all we ask is please share with your whole unit and just send a note back letting us know that, you know, you received it.
And last year, another reason it really took off is we had sisters from a Girl Scout troop who were working on their, I forgot what award it is, I'm familiar with
Gold?
Boy Scouts.
One of the
The
badges.
Gold Awards. And they actually distributed boxes to local agencies to collect items. They handed out letters, and that is one of the reasons why we had such a phenomenal outpouring because of the service that they did. They are helping us again this year, which we're very thankful. They're out today actually delivering boxes, but they decorated their boxes at home.
Like this one.
And so we're again, very thankful that Amelia and Isabella Montanti are helping with this initiative.
Where would someone expect to see a box like this?
At the library, there's one.
Okay, obviously at the library.
We're going to try distributing to the fire departments in Milford and the police department. We try to get them out wherever anybody will take one, really. There's a lot of places that won't take them. But anybody that wants to take them, Milford Hospital does it. They've been supporting us from day one. They have always supported us.
How about at area banks?
You know, we didn't do that last year, and that came up at our meeting that we should do it. So we do have that on our list this year.
Okay.
Okay, area banks, that's a good idea. So you send out, so you have a list of service people that are from this area, and you send them boxes. And how many service people are from this area?
We're not sure how many service people are in this area. I know quite a few kids, and it's funny because the ones, that I know personally, we don't have information on. We depend on parents to send us the information.
It's really hard finding names because you don't actually have a contact number to call, so it really does have to be through relations because there's really...
There's no 800 number to call and
Exactly,
say,
exactly.
who from Milford is serving in,
They won't tell you.
Right.
one of the,
They won't tell
Yeah,
you.
well,
Army, Air
privacy too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
even
can.
the list of people that attended thanks to Yanks, families who attended, and they have service members overseas, we really can't even get the names from, that group. We just have to depend on, we put the word out there, we put it on our website, we put it on our Facebook page, and just hope that, we get several names, which we've already gotten 2 so far this year.
Good.
Someone actually from the Milford Hospital works in their surgical unit, is overseas right now. So that was nice, because they've always given to us.
Right.
So it's nice that we're going to be given to them.
And I did forget, but there is an actual address that we send the packages to, and then we attach the name, and then they ship them. So
Okay,
it's one
okay.
general area where all the packages go.
Okay.
And then they disperse them to the servicemen or women.
Okay.
yeah, because you don't even know where they're serving.
Exactly. So we get an address, and then we attach the name
Name
to
to it, and it goes to that, and
Yes.
then they send it to their...
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I mean, we have thought in the past there is a program that we could join where we don't have to worry about any of the expenses of sending the packages overseas, but they go to all different, whoever.
And you'd rather deal with just the Milford area people?
Yeah, I mean, if we got to that point, we would do it because we love the project, no matter
Right.
what. We want to send the packages over. But the idea that it's going to somebody in our community or surrounding communities, because, it doesn't just have to be Milford, Bellingham, Mendon, Upton, Hopedale, we're not really picky
And they have
about
no
it.
idea these packages are coming, correct?
No.
No,
So it's-
they
it's
don't.
sort of like, I can only liken it to Shelley's thing about the Boy Scouts, to a scout at summer camp, who a package shows up in the mail out of the blue, and everybody's like, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially if you've been overseas several months, just to know that people care about you.
It also
Having
keeps
been the
to our...
recipient of one, I can tell you that this goes back some years, of course.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was in the military too,
Yeah.
and that's why I do this project. I actually started it because my son-in-law was overseas at the time, and I was in the military, and I knew, what it's like to be away from home, especially at the holidays. The holidays are rough.
Yeah, I spent 2 Christmases at sea, and it was fun to get something from home. It was a big package that had, of course, it was not supposed to do this, but my wife would send me drinks in a can. It was great, Manhattans and whiskey sours. And it was really kind of nice.
That sounds like
All
her.
the comforts of home.
Yeah, it was great. And the cookies, and that goes back some years. Anyway, that was-
Also getting names from people that we know are relations also goes along with our theme of how we like presenting this as a community service project where we're serving people in our community.
right.